where no matter what's going on in this world, the only thing we're spreading here is some good cheer, good attitude, and helping you build a career you love with everything I have. So welcome. It's Thursday. It's sunny. Even though my lights are on, it's still great. I feel good. I hope you do too. I hope everybody's safe. Get in the chat. Say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions because the chat gets lively. If you can, let me know what you do too so I can give you some good advice. Great to have everybody. Let me say hello. Let me see my little we got some dogs running around in the background. I think maybe my cohorts can tell me if everything is okay. I'm trying to see if I could match up. You know, when I start this thing, I have like 3 chats going to where I can see y'all, and they don't always sync up. But also, if you are a boot camper, it's boot camper week. Give me your hashtag, and if you are a leader, give me your hashtag too, so I could give you a shout out. Okay. The ladies, my teammates, or my playmates are telling me it's all good. I got a question from Paige N, who I think is the first one in the chat. But I can't put Paige up on the screen because apparently she didn't transfer over. But Paige has a question. We're getting right to it. Early career civil engineer, currently deep into my job search. I've had several interviews. I would love to know how to assess the success of an interview, how to know if it went well. So, Paige, fantastic question. And interestingly, I saw this right as I was about to light up the live stream. And you know, the first thing that went through my head was if interviewers, if the people you are interviewing with, the organizations, all those folks could actually be a little more overt about how well it's going. I don't ever feel the need to play coy with somebody. I always like to be honest. I like to communicate with them. I like to share. I want them to share with me. I think you get back what you give off, but it isn't always that simple, and they're not always that honest. So I think there are some verbal cues, there are some nonverbal cues, and then there are a few kind of let's call it generalizations that you can use to tell. Okay, so let's talk about the verbal cues, right? If I'm saying, right, that's great, right? You know, you're start and you blend that with the nonverbal cues, like right, that's fantastic, great to hear. I really love that. If you're getting a lot of that throughout the session, I think you know that it's probably going well. The other thing from a verbal standpoint is in the book, Intervention, which I happen to have it handy here. If you do not have this, I give this away for free. The book, the ebook, the audiobook, I ship it to you anywhere in the world if you chip in a few bucks for the envelope and the guys to pick it at the warehouse. But in here, I also talk about one of the best closing questions that you can ask is, do you have any reservations about hiring me? Now, I'm not going to go through all the nuances of how to use that, when to use that, whether we should vary it, and so on. But basically, if you have a closer's question at the end, usually, not always, they will give you an indication of if they have anything that they're concerned about. And you want to ask it in that manner because you want to know if there's anything that they think that you don't have that they wanted skills-wise, or maybe they misunderstood something that you said, in which case you can clarify, or maybe there is a reservation. They do have a reservation. You now are alerted to specifically what it is and can perhaps dampen it. With attitude, enthusiasm, analogous experience that you might be able to draw on for any gaps, things like that. So those are kind of the verbal and nonverbal cues, and I could go on and on about all the little, psychological nuances to that. But one other thing that that's kind of it's almost 100% is generally if the interviewer is talking a lot, that's usually a good sign that they care, that they want to share. Maybe they're selling you a bit. I think I always laugh with Mile Walk. I have an executive search for Mile Walk. We've placed several hundreds of people at various levels in the last 15, 16 years. And I always would say to them, hey, whoever talked more thought the interview went better. That's kind of a little joke, but it's kind of true. If the interviewer is talking a lot, that usually is a good sign. People always get so worried, like, well, the interviewer's talking so much, I'm not getting an opportunity to share my experience. But all of those things combined are usually good signs that the interview went well. It's not always 100%. The other thing is, after the interview, is the recruiter, human resources person, hiring official, or whoever your point of contact is getting back to you quickly. That's also another, not 100%, but it's also another indicator that they're enthused, because people, organizations who are interested in candidates usually want to have a high level of communication, let them know things are going well and that they will be in touch, or hey, the next session or the next interviews or the next meetings or video interview or phone interview, whatever it is going to be, and then get that flag planted on your calendar. So I hope that helps. That's a great question. I love that one, Paige. Thanks for getting us out of the box with that one right away. All right, hope that helps. And I'm getting I think I missed one. We got somebody, I'm wondering, oh, that must be DFP. So Dana, how are you? Ultimate career goal is COO of a small to medium-sized company. What additional skills and classes do you recommend taking to upskill? I managed P&L in my first job, but never again. How do I brush up? Thanks. Okay, so Dana, what I don't know, so I can't give you a clean answer here. Let me tell you why. I can tell you what skills I think a COO needs, generally speaking. I don't know where you are on the spectrum and what your gaps are. So I find it hard to believe that somebody that's 22 years old is managing a P&L of and not that you're 22, I know you're not 22, but if you managed a P&L in your first job, I'm wondering if you mean at your first company. Maybe you grew with the organization and you grew to a spot where you were managing a P&L. A chief operating officer, of which I was one, has certain skill sets that he or she is going to have. Now, it's not universal across every single company, but when I think of chief operating officer, oftentimes they have operational responsibilities that also include the literal operations and everything that it takes in order to facilitate those operations. So it depends if it's a services company, a product company. There are other various types of different services that can be offered. There can be customer services, business-to-business services. There could be product organizations. There could be software as a service organization. There could be selling things like a microphone or whatever. Oftentimes, you're looking for a COO to have operational skills, marketing skills, sales skills, a total command of the employee side of the equation, because they're usually in charge of the people officer or the VP of HR or the recruitment, talent acquisition, and all those folks. So in my estimation, a chief operating officer is without a doubt the most vital person in an organization, or one of the 2 or 3 most vital people in an organization aside from the CEO. And depending on the CFO or the financial head that you have, depending on what the company type is, the CFO can also be very, very impactful if it's a strategic CFO as opposed to an accounting-based CFO. So somebody who's set in a direction. But those are the types of skills that I would expect any COO to have. Whatever your gaps are, you're going to have to cover them. So do you understand marketing and all the 8 or 9 different avenues to market, especially the shift that's happened in the last, say, 10 years with the digital economy? Do you understand how to sell? Do you understand how products and sales work in tandem? Do you have an understanding of the people side of the equation, where just to manage profit and loss is not equipping you to manage all operations and everything it takes in order to implement, facilitate, service those operations, and all that good stuff. So depending on the company type, you're also going to have to understand what the different responsibilities of that particular COO is going to be. I would actually start researching the COO skill set for the industry type that you are pursuing or that you are in, and then I would cover the gaps that way. One other thing I would highly recommend that you do is I have a Master Your Craft challenge. It is a 9-day challenge where you sign up. It's free. And as soon as you sign up, I give you a beautiful workbook that covers the 9 days. It's pretty sweet. And then inside there is a lesson from me, a mini lesson to get you scooted in the right direction, and then a 1 to 5 minute video that talks about one of the 9 different things that you need to do in order to master your craft. And then there's a little video, and then there's a workbook. You could take some notes and all that good stuff. Then the next day you get the next lesson and so on. Now you don't have to do it in 9 days, but the point is everything builds on each other. I would check that out. That will literally walk you through what I would do in order to upskill. And you can combine that with, I think you were at the Catapult Your Career, the live session we did a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, I live TV, there's probably like a bird flying by the window or something. But I hope that helps. I really do. And that's a great question. But it's difficult for me to know what the exact delta is between where you are and where you're going. So I hope that helped though. All right, let's see. I think I got AB next. Have an interview today. Let me see. AB. I think you're Amy. Have an interview today for a position, but I don't have any specific technical platform knowledge it requires, though I learn quickly. What's the best way to communicate this effectively? AB, you have this. Question 10 in the chapter on my silver bullet interview. It talks about the generic form of the question is how do you educate yourself, but ultimately what you're really responding to is I don't have the experience that you are asking for, but here is how I would accommodate that. And question number 10 in my silver bullet chapter, that's the answer. Additionally, I have a video out there. It's a few minutes. It's not very long about how to get the job when you lack the experience. That's the formula there in video format. And then ultimately, just to give you a little bit of insight here, what you need to do is you need to say very quickly, while I don't have that experience yet, or I've yet to work with that technology, so maybe try to avoid the negatives. I've yet to work with that technology. You don't say anything else about that. I have used something analogous. Where in your experience do you have some experience that you can draw on, that you can make analogous so that you can show them that the learning curve will be short? So that's the second thing that you want to do. And the third thing that you want to do is you want to say, okay, so I've yet to work with that, that product. I do have experience in other similar products such as, so that'll help me shrink the learning curve. And whenever I'm faced with learning something where I don't have the experience, I have a plan that I follow and I basically do A, B, C, D, something like that. So what you're ultimately saying is, while very quickly you let them know you didn't have that experience, which they should have already known from the resume. If you're in the interview, you're qualified, so to speak. Let's make that assumption. So they know you don't have the experience. So it doesn't do you any good to belabor the point. So just get it out quickly, then 2 positives to end it, right? I do have this and I can draw on that, and here's my plan and my approach. And you could even, for good measure, throw in, and I love to learn new things. That's the best part about this opportunity for me, is that I'm going to get to learn this. We're all faced, especially as technologists, we experience these things that we haven't encountered before. That's part of the fun of being a technologist or being an employee in general and growing. So you do something like that. And remember, there's a recency principle in psychology. When you are answering somebody, they are going to remember the endings. That's usually how it works. Think about a movie that you've gone to see. Maybe you love the first 90 minutes, but you hated the ending. It turns it sour. Or maybe you were wondering the first 90 minutes, then the ending comes, you're like, wow, cool, right? It's the same kind of thing. The answer in this. Question number 10, silver bullet chapter, interview intervention. Check it out. Hope that helps. All right. Now, I think this is really funny. Varun, I didn't get your one of two, but I got your two of two. All right, so Varun is asking me, hello, Andy. Hope all is well on your end. Tried finding your video on getting a referral when in my case met the person once during Christmas. Okay, so you met the person. Would I also reach out both on email and LinkedIn or just one or the other? I have a personal preference. Varun, that's a great question. Okay, so wait. So this I can pop up here. So Varun is asking if he should reach out to an individual via email or LinkedIn. I personally, I'm not going to say this is for everybody. I'm just giving you how I react when I get a message from, this happens quite a lot. Somebody will send me an email. Everybody knows that my email is support@milewalk.com. I have other personal emails, which you obviously can get with like the easiest detective work ever. Then they send me a LinkedIn email. Then they DM me on Instagram. They DM me on Facebook. They DM me on Twitter, or in every imaginable place. And that annoys the hell out of me. Okay, so all you need to do is send me an email to support. We will look at it. I find that the person's direct email box is the best place. I believe we get the highest percentages of open rates and all that good stuff. And I would send them one, and I would wait 7 days. And then what you could do is, well, first thing is, if I sent it to the email box, I would actually tag it with read notify. Go look that up if you want. See if they opened it. It's not 100%, but it should give you an indication if they opened it, or if it was opened, and if it was opened for any duration of time, or what they did with it. But I would send them an email first, and I'd wait 7 days, and then I would send them a LinkedIn message and say, hey, I sent you a direct email. I just wanted to follow up. I just wanted to make sure you got this. I'd be interested in speaking with you. If somebody did that to me, I would have no problem with that. So that's my suggestion. And here again, I'm answering this question on April 2nd with the coronavirus rolling around. Lots of people are disoriented, or a lot of people are still trying to figure out how to work from home and all that good stuff. So you do want to be a little gentle and give people, the benefit of the doubt. I don't have a problem with you following up 7 days later, or if you want to kick it out to 10 or whatever. But fact of the matter is, I would not be sending several messages through multiple mediums to get to the person. Just give them a chance to get back to you. Hope that helps. All right. Let's see. Got a bunch of people shuffling in. Everything's looking good on my end. Although, Kara, let me know, is my microphone kind of loud? It looks, I guess it's on the edge of green. Okay. Let me see. What do we got here? I think I'm in good order. Hang on, let me squeeze this right in here so I got this out. Hey, click the thumbs up button, people. I can see right now that there's 22 of you clicked. That's not a very good percentage. Come on, I'm pouring my heart and soul out for you. Spending a lot of time with you guys. Click the thumbs up. YouTube likes it. Although I will say this, if you are a YouTuber or a podcaster or anybody that puts this content out for people, what we're all noticing, not necessarily here at the live shows, but on our videos. And I'm going to tell you why I'm telling you this. There's a huge drop in viewership and everything associated with our channels and with the podcast. And as you would imagine, that is probably expected, right? I listen to podcasts and I listen to YouTube while I'm in the car. So I put the people that I like to follow on, I plug them into my, or I can Bluetooth them into my car, and I listen to them in all my commutes and all that good stuff when I'm driving to meetings or when I'm rolling to the health club or whatever, going out to lunch. And I'm not doing that because I'm in my house and I'm working more. But so the viewership is down. Why is that important to you? I'm getting a lot less YouTube comments. So I'm kind of getting caught up on responding to people on the channel. So it's another thing for you to know. And the very best time to comment and ask me questions, aside from Thursday live office hours, is Tuesday morning at 6:30 Central Time, when I'm making sure that my video is properly released out into the world. And I hope you caught that one on how to negotiate your raise during your promotion, which I just put out on Tuesday, which not a lot of people watch because no one's watching the videos. All right. Amanda Z, what do we got here? Oh, wait. Hang on. I want to say Phyllis. Hey, Phyllis Rogers, my boot camper. Shout out to you. I received a response. Let me see if I can get this in here. All right. Oops, sorry. Hang on. P. Rogers 50. Hi, Andy. I received a recruiter response to my boss hunting email that in short reads, we are looking for a hunter. I don't see too much of that in your email. How should I respond? Or in your resume. Okay, so what Phyllis is asking is Phyllis reaches out via the boss hunting technique. If you don't know what the boss hunting technique is, go look it up on my YouTube channel. And the individual, in a good way, got back to her and gave her an immediate reaction that her resume and her background doesn't look like she is a sales hunter. So, Phyllis, if that's true and you are not a hunter, you could do one of two things. Number one, you could say, that is true. My experience is more in farming or whatever it is, alliance relationships, customer support, whatever it is. And so I would be open to speaking with you or anybody else in your organization that would be in need of that type of person. I have great accomplishments in relation to that. Okay, that's one route. The second route is not my preferred route, but you can try to explain yourself, which is very difficult to do in an email when somebody's initial reaction was, you're not what I'm looking for. Now, the good thing is they responded. So the initial, if you want to pursue that inside that organization, I gave you the first route. The second route would be, I actually do have that experience. I didn't realize that was as important to you, and then share with him or her what you do have. Okay, so I do have X numbers of experience as a hunter. It's not shown on my resume because it was X years ago or whatever, or I didn't highlight it. It was a portion of my job. However you want to do it, you can try that. It's weak because they already have put you in a category. Now you're digging yourself out of a hole. The third option is you can go totally away and leverage this as a networking opportunity. And you could do something like, okay, you know what? I appreciate the response. Please let me know if you expand your openings, or if you expand your portfolio of skills to include boom, 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 whatever you are. In the meantime, as you can see, I'm job searching. Would you be so kind is there anybody that you know that I should reach out to who might be in need of my services and so on? I'd love to take this opportunity to have to network with you, and you can go that route. So that's another way you can go. So I hope that helps. I mean, that's a great question. But if you're targeting somebody and they're looking for something else, you're going to have to do one of those three options. All right. I do not see. Let me see if I go back to. Yeah, we got a lot going on here. As you can see. Hang on one second. All right. Let me see. I'm not seeing Amanda Z. Let me see. Amanda Z. All right. I've been a director level at small companies for the past few years, considering redoing my resume to say I was just a manager level as there are more jobs. Thoughts? I am unemployed. Amanda, don't ever do that. Okay, so I understand why you think that you will have more possibilities. But your job is not to bend or lower your value to try to fit into the rest of the world. Your job is to try to find the right people who are looking for director level people at small organizations. And trust me when I tell you, there are a ton of them out there. I would challenge you to spend more time looking for them than trying to dumb down your resume. You will not have good luck that way. We had a boot camper. I don't know if he is here. He did this. He tried this. He goes back and forth with me in the system. I gave him the same advice, a little more detail, all that good stuff. And sure enough, as soon as he went back to the level that he was and started targeting the right people, all kinds of opportunities surfaced for him. And he got a job rather quickly once he did that. So I always say this to you. Let me give you an analogy from my world. All right, boot camp's going on. You cannot believe how many emails I get from people who beg me to get in for a lower price. Why is this so expensive, and so on and so forth. As a matter of fact, the boot camp is dirt, and I mean dirt cheap. When you look at what's included, the value you get, and ultimately what the investment in your life will be, the amount of time I spend, and so forth. It is not my job to lower the price to try to appeal to more people. It is my job to figure out a way to try to find the people who recognize the value. You need to do the same thing. So if you're a college student and you're wondering why no one is willing to give you a job because you don't have the experience, my answer to you would be, don't try to sell yourself to people who are that close-minded. Look for people who are open to hiring people without experience. If you are a career changer and you are trying to convince somebody to take a chance on you, to that I would say you're barking up the wrong tree. Yeah, no pun intended. Maybe I got so much barking on my brain. But you're barking up the wrong tree. You need to be looking for opportunities with people who are open to giving you a chance. So for you, if you already have the experience, that is a marketing problem, not a job opening problem. Okay, so I would focus on trying to find the right organizations, and you're gonna need to work at that, and you're gonna have better luck, and you are not gonna be happy if you bend it and lower yourself. And wait, this goes for everything, Amanda, in your life and everybody else's life. Do not lower your goals to things you can practically achieve already, right? You should be growing into them. Do not dim your light because you're worried about it shining out in somebody's eyes, whatever the expression is. It's the same kind of thing with your resume. Don't do that. You're going to find yourself in interviews explaining why you dumbed it down when they dig into your background. So no, I would stay away from that, and I would be looking for organizations who want people like you. All right, I hope that helps, but that is what I would do. All right, Swedish plum trees. Let's see what we got here. Look at that picture. Hang on, I'll move this around. All right. Hi, Andy. Had a second interview, and the interviewer thinks I'll be bored in the position. Was this her polite way of saying no? I tried to reaffirm my interest, and she gave me a test. She gave me a test project. So, okay, that's interesting. I'm going to go back to check out my overqualified video. That's your answers. That's what I would do. The fact that she gave you a test project is a good sign. All right, hope that helps. Just head to it, overqualified. You'll find it. All right. Mohammed. Hi, Andy. Should I write down the name of the position I'm applying for in my resume? So I'm wondering what you mean. Like, I would not put, if you're applying for senior project manager, I would not put senior project manager in big bold letters at the top center of my resume. I might, in my career profile, put senior project manager with X years of experience and so forth. I would do that if that's what you are. And I would also remember that I want you to make sure that from a keywords standpoint, your resume is in alignment with what that job description is looking for. Now, there's a difference between keywords and buzzwords. I'm not going to go into all that because I got a video out there on keywords and buzzwords. But I would check that out. I really would. I hope that helps. All right. Look at Keith Ferris, my boot camper. Yes, you are, my friend. Hope to see you tomorrow. Because we got a boot camp session tomorrow, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'll tell you about that in a little while. Had an interview. They told they would make a decision for 23, then COVID-19 delayed the decision. Connecting weekly with who would be my boss, any communication to close the deal, as this could last to May. So Keith, I would not be communicating with them every week. It's kind of a lot, and I'm assuming now it's different if they offered you the position and then said, you're our guy, we're going to put the position on hold. So that's one thing. If you are a candidate who is one of a number who are being considered between now and end of May or whenever, I would probably drop that to maybe every week and a half to 2 weeks. And it's difficult for me to say. I don't know what kind of relationship you have with them. I don't know how far you are in the process. So if it's me and I'm you, my best advice is you do not put your eggs in this basket, and you keep rolling and you keep doing the job search challenge. And to you and everybody else, folks, do not stop. Number one, don't stop. Number two, don't use COVID-19, Keith, I'm not saying you're doing this. Don't use COVID-19 as an excuse to stop searching. I get emails every single day. We had 6 or 7 boot campers that emailed me in the last 3 days about the new jobs that they're starting next week. Okay, I get emails from people in the community who are not at my boot camp saying, thank you, I'm starting my new job. They reply to my Tuesday Digest email. I read all this stuff, right? I love to hear this. And there are organizations who are hiring out there. So you got to find them. But I would not be burning a lot of time with somebody who said, I'm going to delay this. What's now another 21 days from now? I'm assuming they let you know this in some point in the past, and who knows what's going to happen on May 1st. And I don't hold out a ton of hope that this is all going to be miraculously done on April 30th. So I think you're in for a long run with this company, and I would be focusing on other organizations. But yeah, you can checkpoint in. Hey, I'm interested. Just want to see if anything's changed. But how many times are you going to ask that, right? So you got to be careful. You don't want to be a pest. It also I don't want to sound this way, but it also can make you appear desperate, even if you're not. So just be careful. To be in touch with somebody for every week for the next 3-4 weeks is excessive when they don't know when they're going to make a decision. So that would be my suggestion there. I would keep going. Can you get the theme, not for just Keith, but for everybody? Do not get hung up on organizations that are slowing down. If they're slowing down now, they're going to slow down. They haven't figured this thing out yet, or you might be targeting an industry that is not going to be thriving when this stuff gets cleared up. I don't know if you guys saw it. Maybe Kara can drop it in the chat. I want to say not Tuesday, but 9 days ago. Couple of Tuesdays ago, I put out a video on the job searching changes that you need to make as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. And in that video's just a little over an hour. It's solid instruction the whole way through. And in there, I also have a link to a 36 item list of industries and position types that I believe will thrive as a result of COVID-19. It's a free download. You can take it, start looking at that, analyzing that. And one of the things that I also suggest that you change is if you have a target company list, you want to rearrange the target company list based on the list I give you. So if you're spending a lot of time pursuing organizations that are going to be failing, you're not going to have a lot of luck, and you're going to need to reassess the organizations that you're targeting so that you're going after organizations that are going to thrive. So check that out. But Kara can pop that in the chat. All right, let me see. This is a great question. Mohammed, you snuck another one in here. I have a college degree from another country that is 9 years old. However, I went again into college and finished. Should I write down this college degree or not? Is a bachelor's degree? Absolutely. Your education is your education. It's a credential that's awesome. No one can ever take it away from you. And every piece of education that you have should be in your resume. Certification, associates, bachelor's, MBAs, PhDs, whatever it is, put it in there. Hope that helps. All right. Let me see. Where are we at here? Harpreet, I'm not really sure how to answer this. You are from India. You want to come to Canada on PR. I'm not sure what that means. Residency, perhaps. I don't know what that is. My wife is in nursing and has 3 years of experience as a staff nurse, and I'm an LLB degree. I'm not even sure what that is. Holder. Could you please help me with anything? So it's a bit open-ended. I am not sure exactly what you're asking me, but if you can give me more detail and maybe translate it to something I will understand, I will be happy to help you. Hey, Brooke Sachs. Eamon, and I see you got 4 or so of these in a row. Can you do me a favor? I'm not going to go through all of them. Zip it down to one thing for me, and we'll get you answered. John Kramer, what's the best way for a freshman in college to get an internship? Is an internship looking for my freshman year, even if it's not paid? Okay, let's answer you backwards. Yes, 1,000%. And the best way to look for an internship, there's multiple ways I would go about it. Number one, I would actually look at organizations and see if they're hiring interns. And I would try to apply online. If I was a college student, I actually would apply online for their internships. I would also send them emails directly if I could find the person who might be hiring for that particular position or that internship. I would use the same tactics that I explain in my job search challenge. So even though the job search challenge is quite tailored for professionals, I would still use it because it is about identifying organizations, writing letters, covers, emails, whatever, sending your resume. When I was a college student, so now this is 35, 6, 7 years ago, okay, a long time. As I was a freshman in college in 1980, I don't know when it was, maybe it was 84. And when I was getting ready to wrap up my freshman year, my sophomore year, whatever, I identified like 100 companies, something on that order, in the Chicagoland area, which is where I lived, in an engineering field. So every engineering firm I could find, I wrote to, literally stuffed the envelope, licked it, stamped it, and then sent the mail out, right? Like with my resume. You need to do this, except now you can do it digitally. But I would go about it the same way, and I got a lot of responses back, and a lot of them said no, thank you, but some of them did, and so I'd go and I'd interview, and that's how I got my internships. And then one time I got an internship because a number of the large universities. Just coincidentally, all over the U.S. happened to meet in the Chicagoland area at the airport, and there was a consortium, and you had to apply to get the interviews, and then what you did was you got to basically sign up, and then the organizations that were interested in you, first you had to get in, and then the organizations that were interested in you would interview you, and then the following Monday, they did this on a weekend, the following Monday they called you, and whoever was awarded the internships, they called, and I ended up getting one. Now, I'm sure there's something like that's occurring in college campuses. Maybe a lot of it is online these days, but I would look for opportunities like that as well. So, I mean, I had to write essays. I had to get instructor recommendations. There's all kinds of stuff, but I'm sure that there are opportunities. And I would get a job that I could put on my resume even if I did not get paid. Even if I did not get paid. So that's me, because I know the long-term value and by long-term I mean within the next few years, that internship will pay when you're coming out of school. Great question, and you are ahead of the game, young man. Lots of luck with that. All right, let's see, where are we? 200 people. All right. Brooke Sachs. Brooke Sachs. I'm so sorry, my dogs are barking. And do you know why they're barking so much? Because people are walking around my house, that never occur. That never happens, because people have nowhere to go. They can't go to their health clubs, and they need to get out and stretch. And because it's sunny out, I should have thought of that. But now next time, dogs are going to be like, all right, Brooke, what do we got here, my boot camper? I do not think fast and have a tendency to freeze when asked a question I am not prepared for, mainly during phone interviews. How can I overcome this? So first thing, Brooke. In here, the 14 most effective questions they can ask you, and 43 variations of them. There is absolutely, you got like less than a 1% chance that they're going to ask you a question that I have not prepped you for in this book. That's the first thing. Readiness. And trust me when I tell you that you only need a handful of answers to interview questions, because you can use the same answer to about 10 different questions when packaged properly. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, I was recently asked how I dealt with missing a deadline, and since I have never been in that situation, could not come up with a good response. Okay. I find it hard to believe that you have never missed a deadline in your life, and whether that was your personal deadline or somebody's imposed deadline or rearrangement of the deadline. I'm telling you, you're going to have some kind of response for a challenging situation things were moved, unexpected circumstances came up. Think of anything in your life that caused any project to get somewhat derailed. That answer will work for that question. Tell me about a time when you had a challenging situation. How did you overcome it? Tell me about a time when you missed a deadline. Tell me about a time when something unexpected came up. I mean, this goes on and on and on. It's the same answer to all those questions. So I would look at the inventory in the book, and I would start packaging. I would package those from there. All right, good luck with that, my boot camper. All right, speaking of boot camp, I want to make an announcement, and I want to show you something here. We've got, I interrupt this show, which kind of midway. I only want to spend a minute or two, but I do want to tell you this because I would have loved to have had kind of more workshops related to this to give you a little bit more insight. But I want to let you guys know that I have a job search bootcamp, which I think a lot of you have heard about. But if you haven't, it is my signature job search program. It's an end-to-end solution. And all I want to do is spend about 3 minutes just showing you it is available on a special price through tomorrow, and the program is completely packaged. It's all ready, and everything is in the program, the entire system, the structure, the posts, the videos, the downloads, the templates, everything is in there. But to supplement the learning of this, I go live privately with the Bootcamp crew about 24 to 30 times. I think last year was like 36 times. But basically, let's call it over 24 throughout the year. We've got 3 of them coming right up, and they start tomorrow on Fridays through April and in the beginning of May. And so I just want to show it to you. If you're on my email list, you're probably getting a couple of emails. We probably are send you another one today and one tomorrow because we have a session tomorrow at 11. But I want to show you what you get. So this is the Bootcamp page. Maybe Kara can put this out. So you can see the deadline is actually less than 24 hours away. But just so you understand what's in here, there's 5 base modules, and I'm going to show you what those are. But think of them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a sequence. So imagine all those videos you see from me on YouTube and all that other good stuff that go this deep. Imagine deeper instruction, all sequenced properly in a row that says, do this first, do this second, do this third, so that they work in tandem. You get the compounding effect. That's what it is. You get lifetime access, but more importantly, one enrollment gets you lifetime attendance. So you can come back to all those coaching sessions that I give throughout the year at no additional cost. People get their jobs, they come back, they ask me their career development questions. It's really sweet. So there's not only ongoing live coaching, so there's the ongoing live coaching, which is those 24 sessions, but they also have access to me in the system. And I'm going to show you that in a minute. But basically, you're going to get everything that you need to know about self-discovery, making sure you're dialed in straight. If you're starting out, if you're making a career change, or if you're even just making a job change, making sure that you have everything you need to bring yourself to market, know where you want to go, know how to evaluate the employers, know what's important to you, know how to pitch yourself as well, the elevator pitch, all that good stuff, and all your criteria that you're going to use to evaluate or create and evaluate your options. Then there's all the marketing stuff. So all of that is related to your resume. It's all the resume stuff, it's all the LinkedIn stuff, it's all the cover letters and all that good stuff. And then the searching, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is really bringing yourself to market. Now, if you've gone through my job search challenge, that is a sliver of how to job search, targeting companies, identifying the right people, figuring out what to say. But in addition to that, I give you so much more insight into how to go about messaging them, what exactly to say, how to evaluate it, all that good stuff. Everything you want to know about interviewing, everything you need to know about positioning yourself throughout the entire process so that you can negotiate at the end to get paid what you deserve. And this is not just about how do you handle the negotiation discussion. This is about how do you position yourself from the time you apply and everything you do and say along the way to get paid the maximum you can. I talked about the ongoing live coaching. There's a number of different specialty sessions that are in the program, one or two that are incredibly popular. This networking, these templates, I've copywritten the templates for you. All you need to do is drop your stuff into them. So I tell you exactly what to say. And then this is really popular, how to evaluate small and medium-sized companies when there's not a ton of information out there in the market. What do you do to know if they're a great organization? And then for the career changer, I put in the 4-stage, 12-step program that I've used twice to change careers. That's pretty sweet. If you are an executive, or if you're in the more tenured demographic where you've been working 25 or 30 years or more, I teach you all the stuff that you need to do as well. We've got some other things in there, but it's really, really good. There's a video from sometime last year or the year before. It'll give you an idea if you want to watch it. It is self-paced. So while we have a session tomorrow and a couple more here in the coming weeks, this is a go at your own pace. And everybody starts their job search whenever they start their job search. So it's not like there's anything magical about I have to be ready and have gone through the whole thing in order to come to the coaching sessions. No, use the coaching sessions as you need them, like everybody else will use them as they need them. We do have, anywhere with an internet browser, you can access this stuff, but you can also access it on the go from the app. It's really pretty cool. We do have private groups that you can get in. There's a ton of video testimonials and written testimonials in your emails on the site below. There's, 15, 20 minutes of videos right there. There's 3 different options. Anybody who gets in at this first option gets everything I just showed you on the page. So everything is included. Now, if you do want a coaching session or some add-on services, or you want to have the VIP treatment where you get direct access to me, basically as you need it, via email, and you do get a coaching session and some other stuff, this is becoming more and more popular. with some of the folks. But you can choose. I do have a 30-day warranty on it. And if you are an existing Mile Walk Academy member, if you've paid for anything job search related, so if you're in my resume writing masterclass, or if you're in the interview intervention course, things like that, you can apply what you've paid toward that $497. So you might only need to chip in a couple $100 to get all those extras. Here's the schedule that we've got going right now. There's some Q&A, and then inside the program, this is what it looks like, because I know people like to see this. So there's some instruction. We give you, I even shot a video of how to go through the program. All that stuff will walk you through. Everything is in order. So when I said getting yourself in order, that's session module 1. I've also created a specialty video for you on if you're feeling stuck, how do you create more options for yourself, and a different way to think through how you bring yourself to market and where you can go as a professional. There's everything related to your resume. So it's not just how to write it, how to write the covers, how to put your LinkedIn profile together, but I give you a very, very detailed video review, and a checklist that is very deep, that goes through everything you need to do to put your resume together and get it ready when you apply, and how to act. There's pages in there about the applicant tracking system even, and how to structure things to make sure that you can do your best to beat the bot. It's pretty cool. The bringing yourself to market, the networking, all the templates, and then we also teach you how to locate people using Google. To break the LinkedIn database to find different people at different levels that could be potential bosses, recruiters, HR people, or other interested parties. We give you the Google Boolean and all that good stuff to do this. This is very, very helpful, especially for people who are searching a lot and using LinkedIn, because LinkedIn will put you in jail. And you'll get blocked out, you'll get a limited results set and all that, and it's just terrible. And then everything related to interviewing, all the base principles, the stories. I know somebody was asking me about, being ready. I give you the 5 most important stories. This is nowhere but in the bootcamp. You'll never find this on any public site, not my YouTube channel, not my blog. Stuff like this here and here, you will never get that. You will never see that level of depth. You will never get that kind of view at that. That's why it's in the premium program. And then negotiating, and then the specialty sections. And then, as I said, throughout the year, as we go through and we do these coaching sessions, if you can attend, awesome. If you can't attend, then we record them for you. So everything looks like this. Let's just open one of these up. So if you go in here, and I mentioned that you have access to me, there's the video. There's the downloadable audio. There's the chat from when we did this live. There's all the assets that you need. And then there's some other things in here. These are all the questions I happen to answer in that session. And then if somebody needs me, they just go in here and then I answer the question. So that's what I mean by online support. So I get an email alert. So, people are taking advantage of that. It's really, really pretty cool, but it's very, very organized. And when I think about this, and I recognize that it might look like a lot of stuff, but I guarantee you that if you got in that and you went through that thing, you would save yourself so much time in job searching. It will floor you. You will go through that. You will have so many aha moments about why things weren't working and you didn't know what was wrong, and people who say, well, what do I do? The answer's in there. The answer's in there. You just got to put the time to go through it. Go through it. You got a golden opportunity right now to get in there, and I'm going to be live with my boot campers on Fridays for the next handful of weeks throughout the month. You're going to get your questions answered, and we could go back and forth. And there's not, there's more of a limited number of people at those, because it's only people who pay, and it's only people who are currently going through the program at this moment. So there's tons of testimonials. You can look at people's success stories. Maybe some of the boot campers here can share in the chat what they're going through or how they feel about the program. It's really, really a lot of fun stuff. So I hope you can join me. And if you got any questions, let me know. Let me know. All right. Let's see. What do we got here? Looks good. Everything looks good. Hang on one second. There we go. All right. Jeff. Jeff Lloyds. Hey, Andy, love your interview book. People, they're still in the warehouse. Even though we're shelter in place, they're still in the warehouse. It just takes like an extra day or two. They're on a little bit of a skeleton crew, but they're picking them and packing them and sending them. So grab it. So I appreciate that. Should the achievements you list under career highlights be repeated under the pro experience, under the job you achieved them under, or just in the highlights? All right, Jeff's asking, if you're not familiar with my resume template, number one, you can download it for free. Just go to the Mile Walk Academy. It's right there on the page. Scroll down a bit to free downloads. I have a career profile. That's a summary of you and all your glory in aggregate. Then underneath that is, I recommend 3 career highlights. People like numbers in threes. People like things in threes. So what I recommend is you structure your highlights for things that are very specific, not something like, oh, I sold $80 million between 2011 and 2015. That's not a highlight. That's just what you did. Okay, you can roll that up into your career profile, or you could talk about that in your professional experience section. But a highlight is something very, very specific that you did that helped somebody, some group, the company, your teammates, or your customers, or whoever achieve great benefit. Put that in the highlights section and then take the bullet verbatim, and plop it right in the professional experience section. Don't worry that you repeated yourself. The reviewer was wondering where that occurred. Just show them. And don't think for 1 second that they read all the words in the bullet. So they're skimming. They're looking at it. They're, oh, that looks pretty good. Zip over it. Then they'll zip down. Then they'll see it again. It's okay. Believe me. They don't read the resume left to right, top to bottom. They scan everything. Remember this. Your job is not to put a resume together designed for them to get through it quickly. It's not. That's not what the resume is about. The resume is a marketing vehicle. If it does its job awesomely, it's you prepare a resume that gets me, the reviewer, to say to myself, I need to talk to Jeff. The faster you get me to say that, the better your resume is. It's not how long it takes me to get through it. It's how fast I get to that decision. That's the potency in the resume. Okay? So remember that. Your resume is not a list of your work history. It is not everything that you've done. It is the things that you have in your past that are packaged in a manner that gets the reviewer, the employer, the interviewer, whoever, to say, I need to speak to this person. That's all it does. That's all it does. It doesn't get you a job either. Your interviewing gets you a job. So remember that. So Jeff, great question. Yes is the answer. Don't try to repackage it all. Just copy, paste, and you're good to go. Great question. All right. Hey, Mom. Love you too, Mom. Hope you're doing well. Say hi to Dad. All right. Susan Kelly, how are you? Davita, my boot camper. John, my boot camper. Hey, can you guys, John, somebody, can you tell everybody your experience in the boot camp and how much fun we have? It's really, I don't know if you guys, I very much value this, and maybe you value it even more now, but we all need a community. Job searching is lonely, and boot campers are a community within a community. So, and they support each other. It's really, really great. We've got a WhatsApp thing that goes on, and they're all there supporting each other and dancing with the victory dances and all that good stuff. And it really warms my heart. So, the community itself is important. So, that's another thing to consider as you consider if you're on the fence. But it's really, really cool. But Davida, great to see you, and John too. Let me see. Oop. Hold on. My thing's spinning. I can't get down on the... There we go. Amit, how are you? Modest Virgo, hey to you. And Kara made it. She showed up. All right. Hey, Stacy. She showed up too. Virtual hug. Rochelle, I bet you got better weather than we do. Tony P. from Dunedin, I bet you got better than we do. And Tony, I hear you guys went lockdown recently too. Hope you're doing well and hope you're safe, my friend. Carrie Freeman. All right. Let's see. Think I got a question here. Robertson, winning all the time. Love it. In the month of February and March, I applied for several different jobs. A couple went through a referral at a major internet retailer, and another was through the employer I'm contracting with now. Okay. Let's see. I'm guessing you got another one, and here it is. All right. Well, 3 weeks ago, the employer I was contracting with offered me a permanent position. I hope you're getting to a point here soon. I didn't have any other offers on the table, and I genuinely enjoyed the company. The only thing I was not happy about was the compensation and the health care. This better be it, man. Last week, the major internet retailer reached out to me for an interview. I know that, okay, listen, buddy, you know what? Package it up and give me it another time. Folks, try to get it in one. Giovanni, how you doing? Joe Winter from Louisville, how you doing? Hope the interview went well. How'd it go? Let me know. All right, here's one of my boot campers. Handsome guy he is. Is there a better way to network other than through social networking and email during the COVID times, assuming this will become a new norm? Everything goes virtual. It is my belief that it will not be virtual forever. For the foreseeable future, wait, first off, I'm not a doctor and I'm not dispensing my prediction about how long this is going to take. I just pray everybody's safe, and I pray that you all have the strength to do the smart thing, which is social distancing, stay in the house, and all that good stuff. Okay, so what I see happening is I think more people are going to be open to virtual coffee. If I needed to network with somebody right now, and I couldn't see them because the coffee shops are closed and lunches or restaurants and diners, I'm just grabbing my tea or my coffee or my quarantini, as I like to call it. That's my version of my martini. And I got a drink, with my wife in the house. And you can have my wife. She's on a Zoom call now, which is why the dogs are barking, because she's locked up in a different room. And she gets on. And they have like a 4:30 happy hour with her troops each day. And just to say hi, team bonding and that kind of stuff. And they don't do nothing but girl talk. But it's just their way of getting together and hanging out. And I would say that depending on what it is that you're networking about, that if it's somebody who it's worth it for you and for him or her to get connected, or maybe you do a group thing or something like that. There's no reason for you that you shouldn't be reaching out on the Facebook group and the LinkedIn groups to other boot campers and people in the Mile Walk Academy and the private groups, and see if anybody is interested in connecting with you. If it's for camaraderie, that's one thing. If you're trying to do it because you're trying to network your way into an organization, that's a different approach. But I would still use the same tactics like I've showed you in the Job Search Challenge and those techniques to make those initial contacts. I am telling you, people, companies are hiring. Please, you gotta believe me. I know the world is changing, and I know some organizations and some markets are in a tough spot. But that is no reason for you to stop. I just have the evidence of the facts. It's true. So I would do whatever I could to get connected with somebody. And if that meant a video, a Zoom thing or a Google Hangouts or a WebEx or whatever you got, I would do it. I really would. I do not think that will become the new normal. That's my speculation. I don't care if I'm wrong or not. That's my speculation. I think once this thing is over, whenever that is, that I'm telling you, my wife and I were going out and we're going to have fun, and I'm sure we're going to meet all the friends we missed and all that good stuff. And I think people who network for business reasons and all that good stuff are going to go back to doing that. And if anything, there's probably going to be a huge spike in that because people are so, cramped up right now. So I don't know that I helped you there a ton, but that's my take on it. All right. Diana Dembski, great to have you, and so glad you're now a boot camper and a leader. Buhari, great. Ehab, my boot camper, how you doing? And Dana, good to see you, Dan. I'm telling you guys. So actually, I haven't really been talking about the swag because I wanted to get the shirts. I wanted to make sure that I was choosing the right shirts and all that. So I put these little hashtags and stuff on it. But I'm working with my designer so that this boot camper will have the boot camp insignia and all that good stuff. And then on the back, I don't know if I can turn around if you guys can kind of see that. It's got Mile Walk Academy on the back. It's kind of cool. And you grab it on YouTube. And they're shipping. It just takes a little while. Flying Uber Tuber, hey to you. Bill Moore, how you doing? Stella, hey. Louise. Mahesh from the Netherlands. Frank Sewell, my boot camper. Fabian, hey, I think it's been a while. From Dubai, great to see you. Jacka, Tom Phillips. Hey, Karen. Karen, you now, since you are officially a boot camper, and I think you're a boot camper and a leader, you get to put your hashtags. Maitre Yi, my boot camper, who we like to call MY3. Raj. Ahmed. Oh, there's a lot of chit chat. No Sun Sar Scott. Renee Eckert. Hey to you. All right, I'm zipping down. Dawn Martin. Here we go. Let's see what this is. Hi, Andy. I have a second round interview lined up, but was canceled due to COVID. How often and in what format should I follow up? Great question, because this is going to happen, right? So here's what I would do. If it gets canceled, the best thing you can do is you immediately get back to them and you say, thank you so much for letting me know. I completely understand the situation. Okay? Understanding. You're empathetic to them too. They're going through a rough time as well. They didn't want to cancel the interview. They want to hire you, right? They want to hire somebody. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I want you to know I'm greatly interested in your organization. And obviously, with these uncertain times, I would like to re-engage with you whenever you are ready. Period. If you have, is there any guess as to when that might be? I certainly won't hold you to it. I just would like to know if you'd like me to follow up with you in a few weeks, or when that might be, or something of that nature. But structurally, you want to have those three things in there, and that's what I would do. Now, what you're hoping, so you asked me the question about how often, first thing you're hoping is that they get back to you and they say, hey, Martin, it's going to be a couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll get back to you by then. You give them the 2 weeks. You give them another half a week or whatever. Say, hey, just wanted to check back in. I recognize, things might not be moving yet, but I just wanted to, confirm my interest or reiterate my interest. See if anything's changed. Please get back to me whenever you can. That's it. And then you let them go. And then I would give them at least another couple of weeks. I mean, these are extenuating circumstances. And I think, actually, I want to say this again. I want to say this again. Hey, Stacy, do me a favor because I'm going to want to split this one out. It's 12:08. So this is what's happening right now. You've got different types of organizations that are going through different levels of confusion. So when the COVID-19 happened, so in the U.S., for example, and obviously we've had countries outside the U.S. that have gone through are going through some horrific stuff. In the U.S., when we finally got smart and we finally started to social distance, in Illinois, we were one of the early states to basically go shelter in place along with California and New York. And then a lot of the other states have followed. Now 75 or 80% of the United States is like that. Well, when this occurred, you had organizations that were already equipped to operate remotely. They were a little stunned. They had to get everybody situated remotely. They had to get their processes down, and it took them about a week. Okay, then they started their interviews again, if they were hiring, right? Okay, there's those kind of companies. Then there's the organizations, okay, different suite of organizations who were not equipped to work remotely. They are going to take a little bit, okay, pause the interviews. We have to figure out how to keep business going, and we're not set up to operate remotely. We have to take a little more time. We're not going to get crushed because we're not in an industry that's going to get crushed, like hospitality, travel, leisure, all that stuff, right? They're going to take a big hit right away. They just were in an industry that's okay. They just were not set to operate remotely. That's going to take them a little longer, okay? But then they'll start up again. Then there's a third grouping, industries that are going to have a long-term impact. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say, travel, leisure, hospitality, they're going to get crushed. Yeah, they're going to get crushed in the short term. Bartenders aren't working, right? Hostesses, massage therapists, all that stuff's closed down. So those people can't make any money. Those businesses, now some of them are going to survive, some of them are going to close, most of them are going to reopen. Most people will go back to normal. You got events, corporate events, you've got all kinds of retreats and things that were canceled, sporting events, all that stuff. Well, that's going to come back. It's just, it may take a while. And they may not rehire or start hiring again right away because they've got to get their business back and stabilized. They're going to take a longer period of time. Then there's other things that are just going to shift long term. So there's others, it's a fourth group. They're going to have an immediate smash, and then they're going to have a delayed smash. Let me be clear about what that group is. So I'll give you a great example. And I think I told this story a while back. My wife, her son, great kid, he's 23, actually might be like coming up on 24, works for a financial institution, works in IT in the security area. They always wanted this group of individuals operating on site. He worked 4 days a week, 10-hour days. They had set shifts and stuff. And they just wanted them to work inside the office. Then a couple of them got sick, the flu. This is a few months back. They said, work from home. Don't take sick days. Just work from home, and we'll see how this goes. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll try to get more position to work remotely. Okay, so they start to get in a position to work remotely. Then what happens is they decide, this is before the coronavirus, this is pretty good. We don't need all this office space. We don't need all this group. It's easier, especially those people that are working the later shifts or they're working Saturdays and things like that. We don't want to drag them into the office. Before you know it, and this has happened a couple weeks ago, they says, we are now fully equipped forever to operate remotely. You all can go live wherever you want in the U.S. Okay, why is this important? Well, to this company, this might not mean a ton, but a lot of organizations are going to do something like this. What happens as a result of that? Well, what about all those companies and the industries like the commercial real estate industry or property management or other organizations like that are now going to take a major hit and have a delayed hit as well, because organizations, once they get back on their feet, are going to restructure and operate differently. Well, I don't need an office that houses 100 people when I can get away with an office that houses 20 people, when I can let some of them come and go and some of them don't even have to, and we'll have the monthly happy hours and we'll build the camaraderie or whatever. And now I'm opening up my recruitment to people that live in different regions. That's a different grouping in a different industry and a different fallout that happens as a result of this. That lasts longer. Okay, it does. People aren't renewing their leases. People aren't keeping up with their leases, or organizations, and so on. You have to figure out which one of these you're targeting. Which of those four groupings are you going after? And you're wondering, well, why are they not calling me back? Or when might they pick it up? You interviewing for a commercial real estate position? Right? Not for a long time. So that's what I mean. You have to figure that out. And I hope that guidance gives you some insight to that. But that's how you got to analyze and look at this stuff. Okay? I mean, I see a lot of stuff circulating out there, people who are ill-equipped to advise you on this stuff. You have to have a deep understanding of what is going to happen as a result of this shakeout So it's not a simple question as just, okay, well, how long is it going to be? Which company are you targeting? What do they do? What industry are they in? Geographically, where are they located? How quickly did they respond initially? And so on. There's many, many factors that determine that. So think about it, though. You all are smart, and you should know your industries. You should know what's going to happen. You should, right? You should know your industries better than I know your industries, right? So think about that. All right, hope that helps. That's great stuff. That's great stuff. Really, really good question. All right. Hey, how we doing? 12:14? I'm gonna keep rolling. You guys enjoying this? Click the thumbs up. You know what I'd really love for you guys to do? Join my boot camp. That's what I'd love, and I'd really love it if you grab my firstborn, my little beauty. I'm gonna give it away as long as there's ink in the world. So please get it, read it, underline it, share it with somebody. They'll thank you. Okay. What do we got? Where are we at? Okay, is everybody calm? Okay. Simon from Qatar, how you doing? And Angie from Toronto. Love it. And Karen, how are you? Karen, I don't know where you're from. Yes, you are a boot camper, and we love to have you. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Harish, let me see. Oh, that's Girl Dog. All right. Harish, I am looking to push my resume to get that director VP level. I have 10 years of experience in managing teams and creating strategy and vision roadmaps. Where is your other? Here we go. All right, hang on. Let's go back here. I think this might be. Oops, sorry. Hold on. Let's get this position. All right. Andrew, I'm looking to push my resume to get that director VP level. I have 10 years of experience in managing teams and creating strategy and vision roadmaps. How could I show? All right, I'm assuming that you mean how can I show that I deserve those positions. So a lot of you guys ask me this stuff, and the delta is not always the same. It depends how much experience you have in the areas that you have it, in the industries that you have it, and the types of companies that you're targeting, what's typical as far as the amount of experience that somebody needs to have. So I look at some of these ad agencies, and it's like kids out of 5 years out of school or senior vice presidents. You look in the manufacturing sector, 50 years of work experience, senior vice president. Like, it's very different. So I don't know what what industry you're in. I don't know what company type. I don't know if you're out of work and all that good stuff. I want to give you some value here. And I know Dana asked this earlier. You have got to assess where you are and where you need to be and what the delta is. So and by the way, I'm not one of those guys that thinks, well, it's always been this way, so that's what does normal look like, though? Just to give yourself an idea, okay? You don't have to be normal. You could be super fast. You could be super slow. So, but what is it that I need to do? You need to go out and figure out what those vice presidents and directors, what they look like. Think about this, folks. Look at a company that you want to go work for. Go look at their directors. Look at the experience level they have or don't have. Where'd they come from or not come from? What does the evolution of their profile look like? Right? Look at that stuff. Then look at job descriptions of that organization at those levels or other organizations like them, their competitors. Do they have director level and VP level job descriptions? What do those call for? And then you got to bridge the gap. And if you feel like you've bridged the gap, then it's a storytelling issue. So how do you package up your stories to show them that you can do those things in the job description? That goes for anybody. Actually, you know what, Stacy, do me a favor. Let's do a thing on this. Let's do a show on this because I get this question a ton, and it is. I probably, if I sat down for 10 minutes, could sketch out the strategy that I would use, and I'll bring it to one of the live office hours, and I'll give you guys a whole package on that. So let's do that. But Harish, I hope that helps. I really do. UBC 21, I was born ready. So you ask away. Michael McInerney from Boston. Shelly Bond? All right. Many people are posting on LinkedIn. They are looking for jobs as well as updating their LinkedIn profile to say looking for opportunities. Thoughts on that? I do. Never do that. Ever. Ever. Never. Ever. No circumstance could you ever give me or lay out for me that I would tell you to put seeking new opportunity, looking for new opportunities, open to this, open to that. None of it. Don't put those words anywhere, nowhere visible on your LinkedIn profile. Ever. Why? So first thing is, if you're putting that where a lot of people put it, is in the headline or in their title up at the top or in their descriptor or in their summary, what happens? Nobody, and I mean nobody, goes to LinkedIn and searches for keywords that say seeking new opportunities. They don't search like that. Recruiters, HR people, other professionals, hiring officials, if they're looking on LinkedIn, they're looking for a particular keyword or descriptor type for what they need. They're looking for project manager, business analyst, chief operating officer, whatever, okay? They're not looking for seeking new opportunities. So you are wasting the most prime real estate where most people put that, where you don't need to do that, okay? And if I happen to type in the word project manager and you come up, and the first thing I'm going to see, no matter what you have, is your picture. Have one. It should look good. It doesn't have to be professionally taken, and you don't need to airbrush it. But don't be wearing sunglasses unless you work for, you're targeting Sunglass Hut for a job. Don't have your pet in the picture unless you're going to work for a pet store. But it should just look good, dead on, straight face. Look at mine. It's just your face. That's it, just so that they can see it. That's good. And then they look to the right of that, and then there's going to be your title, your descriptor, your headline, or whatever, and they're going to see seeking new opportunities. It's just not what they want to see. Now, if you're wondering, well, hey, I want people to know I'm actually looking. You want people to know that you're actually looking. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, listen, if you're willing to put seeking new opportunities on your headline, then you are going to be smart enough to go into the recruiter settings and let them know that you are searching and you are open to new opportunities. And you could even put inside the private area there, seeking new opportunities. That's okay. All right. Every recruiter worth their salt that has a LinkedIn account has a LinkedIn package called LinkedIn Recruiter. They go out and they search for people like project managers or whatever in geographical locations or whatever with certain, maybe who've worked for certain types of companies or whatever. And then they can see you've checked the box, yes. All that does is it makes these recruiters nowadays, they go after all the people who are open to new opportunities. Why? Number one, they're lazy. Number two, they path of least resistance. They know you're going to get back to them if they contact you. Okay, instead of the recruiters worth their salt who will go after anybody and try to convince them that whatever they're pitching or their company or their client company or whoever is a better opportunity. All right, so they'll find you. They will, believe me. And you don't want to you don't want to put that in public. And the second point that I wanted to make, I told you there'd be two, is we gather data. The executive search firm Mile Walk that I run, that I've been running since 2004, every year since, we gather statistics on everybody that we recruit. And we ask them, how did you find your most recent position? How did you find the one before that? And how did you find the one before that? Not walk me through your resume. I just want to know, can you tell me the medium you used? Were you recruited? Was there, did you apply online? Did you get a referral? Did your old boss call you? I just want to know. And 8%, so like 1,100 of the 12,000 that we had gathered the data for, where we were really capturing it, those people said, I got one of those 3 most recent jobs on LinkedIn, unsolicited, from somebody who emailed me. Meaning I wasn't even looking for a job, and somebody emailed me through LinkedIn or via email, said I saw your profile on LinkedIn, and I ultimately took the job. I want you to imagine that. So this was back in the days and up till recently where they didn't even have those kind of settings. You couldn't even do something like that. So 8%. You have less than a 3% chance of being seen by putting your resume into an applicant tracking system, which means you got less than a 1% chance for aggregated positions that you would get your job by putting your resume into an applicant tracking system. When you have an 8% chance, statistically, I'm telling you, that you have an 8% chance of finding your job through LinkedIn by not even looking on LinkedIn, but just being there with a good profile. So I wouldn't waste my headline or my summary or my anything with seeking new opportunities, open for new positions, looking for a new job. None of that. Don't put any of that on there. Trust me on this one, folks. It does not do you well. All right, you want to shine. Put what you are, not what you're doing. I mean, tell them what you got going on. All right, I hope that helps, Shelly. All right. Tammy Chen, let's get you up here. I think you were enjoying the job search challenge. All right. Hi, Andy. I applied for a sales rep position at a software company located in Ontario. Awesome. In mid-March, and just received an email saying they would not move forward due to COVID-19. All right. That's one of two. Get the other one here. Besides thank you note, what else can I say, do, so they will, so I want to reach out to me when this outbreak is over. And Tammy, I just answered that for, I think it was Martin. I think it was Martin. So one thing for you guys, I want you guys to know when this is over, when the whole session is over, I leave it up on YouTube, so it'll be there. And this is set to DVR, meaning if you join me at live office hours, and let's say you come in at 11:30 and I've been on for a half hour, all you need to do is you can rewind it and just go back. But Tammy, that was probably, 3-4 questions ago. All right, Helena, my leader, how are you? Yasmin Bay, hey to you. Ahmed, wonderful. Audrey Musgrave. Get this up here. This looks interesting. Audrey Musgrave, what questions should I ask a startup company who is going through B round of funding? Should I be concerned about the company staying afloat? Awesome question. I'm going to give you a couple things here. Number one, I gave you 4 categories of company types and what's going to happen as a result of COVID-19. Right? The coronavirus is going to affect different companies a different way. So I'm not going to recap all what I said a few minutes ago. Check that out, zip back to that, and figure out which one of the 4 you're in. Now, what questions should you be asking a startup company? So I'm going to give you, I could go all day on this one. And I think for those of you that saw me demo that very quickly, the how to evaluate small to medium-sized companies, that specialty session that I showed you in there, that's exactly what this is. And for companies that are in the infancy stages, or small organizations that are privately held, or medium-sized companies that are privately held, or even large companies that's just good tactical stuff. But for startups, here is your acid test for startups. The thing that I am most concerned about, so let's just say, Audrey, sake of argument, that one of the 4 categories, you were in one of the first 2 categories that I mentioned, that they were either already equipped to go remotely and they slid on over when COVID-19 came and they were business as usual, okay? Or they are in a good industry, might not have been set up to operate remotely. However, I would imagine startups that are coming to fruition right now are all pretty much, most of them are going to be equipped to operate remotely. All right, so let's say we give you the benefit of the doubt. Now move forward to when you start evaluating startups. The single greatest question you could ever ask to a startup company is, can you explain to me what your goals are for the next few years, 3 years, let's say, maybe 3 to 5. Tell me what your goals are. I could conduct, I almost don't need to ask any other question to know if I'm going to want to work there. Why would I be so confident if I asked that question and based on that answer alone, would I know that this would be a good company or not? Now, maybe I'm exaggerating for effect, but go with me on this. When you ask, and I'm talking about the executives in a startup, okay? Now I'm talking about the CEO and the COO and the CFO, and I'm talking about the big dogs. If they're going to answer you one of a couple ways. If they say, our goal is in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years to build this up and then sell it, I'm out. I'd get up and walk out right then. No exaggeration. I literally would, because that's their mentality. That's how they're going to run their business. And their focus is going to be on all the wrong stuff. And they're going to build a crappy company that isn't going to sell. And they're going to let a lot of people go because they're not growing fast enough. Okay? Now, the people who are giving them the money, they're going to want a return. Except that the only way to ensure that that return is going to be there is to build a solid organization that's focused on whoever its customers are and making sure that they are building the best in business, best in class, best in industry, best in the world, whatever, at what they're doing. Okay? If that is not their goal, they will not put a solid company together. And remember something, that you are not going to benefit financially nearly as much as the people who took all the risk to actually start this up. They already have Series A funding, right? So they owe somebody. Maybe that's themselves, or maybe it's somebody else, an angel investor. Okay, now I'm going to get B round. Well, the train's already kind of moving, and then the C round will come, right? But I'm telling you, if their focus is solely their EBITDA, you need to run, because they will do things that will constantly be at odds with building a stable company. Because think about it, I have to constantly balance the profit or the revenue or the whatever. And the easiest way to gain profit is you get more revenue, but for startups that's hard, right? So what do? They have to be really smart with the costs. Well, what happens if the revenue's not growing as fast as they want? What do? They get rid of costs. They get rid of people. That's the easiest way to do that, and the fastest way to cut the fat in their mind. When somebody who's building an organization that's going to build the best customer service based on the best product and all that good stuff has to be building for a little bit of a long term. And that has to be their focal point, because the best organizations that then are bought up, sold, or go public all have that solid foundation underneath them. At least nowadays. That was not always the case when you go back to like the tech bubble in 2001. So what are your goals? If they say to you, well, the first thing is we've got to build a solid company. We've got to build a best-in-class product. And the way I see us doing that is this. And then, yeah, you know what? We are taking on investors. Investors do want to get paid back. I am doing this, hoping that there will be financial reward at the end. But I know that if I focus on this, it'll be there. Then you're in, right? Then I know what I'm going to ask them. If that's their philosophy, is probably going to be pretty good. It will. But that's for startups, like that ought to be like number one, first question. Don't ask about the role. I want to know what your goal is, what your strategy to get there is, what you see the obstacles being, what will you do if. There's a lot of that. So then you want to start getting into, what are those challenges? What are the known challenges? What do you think are unknown? And so on. And you want to go through that line. I would not even care what my job would be until I got all that out of the way. So that's where I'd be way over in that direction. I hope that helps. That's a great question. Holly Lee, how are you? Karen, I just obtained my PMP certification and want to highlight this. I started my summary paragraph with the fact that I am a PMP certified manager. Karen, and anybody who is a PMP, MBA, anything like that, educational stuff that you're proud of, certs you're proud of, I'm a Salesforce database administrator you're proud of, or whatever. Where you put that in the in the career profile is important. It's better to have that as the very last thing and not near the top, meaning not near the left side over where you're describing yourself. If you are in fact a project manager or a senior project manager, just say that. Senior project manager, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And then the last sentence I would put in the second paragraph is recently obtained PMP PMI's PMP certification. I'd spell it out, and then I'd put PMP in parentheses, and that's how I would do that. Same kind of thing with your MBA. It's an afterthought at the top level. It's over at the end. So if you put it in the beginning, especially if you're an MBA or some other things like that, people are actually going to think you're snooty and that you think that matters. It does. So like PMP certification is great, but I would take an experienced project manager. I value that experience more than I value the certification, because the certification is nomenclature and processes based. But you can learn that. So it's good that you have it. That's awesome because it's another credential. But when I talk about a pecking order of what I care about, so the fact that somebody has an MBA is wonderful, but that doesn't supersede the right experience, the right industry knowledge, the dirty elbows and all that good stuff. So, but that's where I would put it. Recently obtained, recently received, recently attained, whatever, however you want to say it. Last sentence, career profile. And if you have other things, then make them the last sentences. But I mean, like, think core competencies, list them out, and then your PMP certification, because that belongs with your core competencies. Good. All right, I think it's Roni. How are you? How can I create an elevator pitch in my last 3 jobs were different from each other in different industries, and I'm currently unemployed? Okay, great question. So I would go, I'm assuming you watched it, the elevator pitch, how to describe yourself in 1 sentence. Your elevator pitch is about where you're going. It's not about where you've been. So you want to talk about what it is that you do, for whom you do it, how they're going to benefit. That's ultimately what you want. Now, you didn't tell me what the jobs were and what the industries were. You didn't tell me where you want to go. You want to introduce yourself or your headline in LinkedIn or however it is about where you want to go. What's the common theme or denominators of those 3 jobs? Were they all customer service oriented? Were they all project management oriented? You could take, it could be different from each other. Maybe you were a BA, a PM, and a product developer or something like that. So I don't know what those were, but the one thing that I will tell you with the limited info you gave me is go forward. It's about where you're going, not where you've been. Remember that. I hope that helps. All right. Stella, how are you? All right, I'm a 20-plus year corporate comms professional. Love it. Feels like the job market is looking for younger professionals. How can I reinvent myself for the future of work? 4IR. I'm not sure what the 4IR is. Regards from Kenya. So I take 20 years any day. So 25. I don't know how 30. However old you are. It is not about reinventing yourself. It is about understanding what the latest techniques are. So one thing, Stella, everybody else, that I want to point you to, I have some videos out there about how to job search for over 50-year-olds. Stella, I don't know that you're over 50, but just watch it. It's same concepts. And then I have an age discrimination video about in the job interview. Check that out. There's probably some other stuff as well. Here's the thing. When you are an older worker, and older doesn't mean you're old. It just means if you're 20 years and you're 42 years old or 45 years old or whatever it is, or 50, you have got to come in with good energy. The chemistry's got to be developed. You got to be using current nomenclature, and you got to know what the trends are. If you know what those are and you can communicate in the job interview that way and you can package them up on your resume, you're not going to have a problem. And you shouldn't have to go reinvent yourself. You might need to get current. Okay, that's cool. But the fact that I'll tell you what, I've been working a long time. Okay, I will throw down with anybody else, any other career coach that wants to come up and sit side by side with me at any age, in any industry, at any time, ever. And I will challenge them to who understands what the current trends are. It has nothing to do with my age, but my experience tells me where I need to look, what I need to know, how to interpret it, what the results or the data is telling me, and why I know that to be the case. That's what you need to do. So if you're a corporate comms professional, you better know how to circulate the inside mail, the outside mail. You're talking about emails and any other communications, the packaging. The 20-year vet knows how to package the messaging to elicit the responses they are looking for, right? So how do you do that? Why do you do that? And how do you know that's what you should do? Nobody who's 10 years younger is going to be able to outdo you. If you've been absorbing what you've been doing and you've been in looking at it and interpreting it in a proper manner. So I'm not worried. You might need to make sure that you know the latest tools that you're using to distribute those communications, some packaging stuff, but that's easy. It's the experience of knowing what goes in the communication that makes you valuable. So what do you have that they don't have? That knowledge, that experience, that's got to be played up. And then you just need to be current with the tools. All right, good to go there. Let me see. I've got a Slack coming in. Kara is telling me, Kara, how far down is that? 12:39. Let me see here, folks. Hang on. Let me see if I want to try to pull this up on the screen. 12:39 is it after? See if I can get this up. Dang. Guys, a lot of stuff in the chat. Ay. Hang on one sec. All right, hang on. I'm going back to where was I? All right, let me get back to... Did I miss some of those? Hang on, sorry. I was trying to dive down to see if I can put this up on the screen, but I can't seem to find it, and now I got to get back to... All right, Steve G, hey to you. And Kara is telling you, I don't know what time that was, get this little beauty. This is going to help. Okay, if you don't believe this, Paige started us off today. Paige, thanks for that. And the do you have any reservations question, it's in here. I walk you through exactly how to use it. Check it out. You need to know this. You've got to surface the reservations at the end of the interview. Thank you for that. I think I got that one. Oh, Nathan, let's give this to the folks. Not a question, but a tip. New networking service called Lunch Club. I've met some interesting and nice folks. Do one-on-one video calls. Not sure how signups work, but might be worth looking into. Love it. Nathan, thank you for that. Thumbs up for Nathan. Give Nathan a shout out. Give me a thumbs up for sitting here going through with you for almost 2 hours. Okay. The answer to this is going to be no, but let's get it up here. All right. MY3 is asking, hello, Andy. Last week, I had 2 interviews. They both lasted for more than an hour. I was able to frame my questions. Now I'm working on a task they had me do. I've sent a thank you note after the interview. Is there anything which I should do now other than following up after 1 week? The answer is no. No. I'm glad they gave you an assignment. That's good. That means they're engaged. That means they'll keep going. And I would hang tight. All right, Frank, what do you got here? I like building department processes in IT organizations, particularly healthcare. What is the best role to shoot for? Well, if you like building departments and processes, those are different things. So there's people who build the department, that's one thing. There's people who build the processes, that's another. Now, some people who build the department also build the processes, but in my mind, those are two different things, okay? One is that process could be a business consultant, a project manager, a business analyst, could be any of those folks. Somebody running a PMO or whatever. Department head is a different thing. And it doesn't matter if it's healthcare or higher ed. Project manager is always good. Always good. You ain't going to go wrong with that, Frank. This, I want to call this out. Can we all give Kara and Stacy a shout out? There's Kara right there. This Master Your Craft Challenge. It's good, folks. I'm telling you, I did it a while back. It's on the Mile Walk Academy page if you don't access the link here. This is where I give you 9 days in a row. I give you an email about yay long. There's a video. And we give you the workbook, the 9-day workbook right away. It's printed out. And then we give you a video each day for you to facilitate your growth. It's really effective. It's really effective. Anybody who asks me those questions about closing the gap, and anybody who wants to develop themselves at a high rate, this is what I do. This is what I do all the time. That's how I run my life. So check it out. John, I will give you a certificate. Ay, ay, ay. Look at this. All right, Huntington Beach. Rochelle's saying, could you say a few motivational words about the times we're in right now? Your wisdom always helps. I will tell you this. I am so laser focused on this minute. Okay? Like, I am literally my mind is nowhere else. I mean, I'm not thinking about what's for lunch. I'm not thinking about, all this stuff. I don't want my dogs barking. But there's a couple things that I think we all can do to help ourselves. You have got this opportunity, many of you, not everybody, but I know many of you, where you just had your life upended. You're spending a lot of time at home, not in the office. You're not commuting and all that good stuff. Golden opportunity for me. Even I don't break out for lunch. So the time I was spending driving and meeting and all that other stuff, I have that now to myself. How awesome is that? How awesome do I have all this extra time to do whatever I want to do with it? Now, there's a couple things that make it difficult for us is that a lot of people have a focus problem. And so when I said I'm right here with you, that takes a lot of practice to be completely present with you. And that started last night. And I slept, and then I got up, and it started in the morning, and I practiced focusing, and then I went through like 8 things this morning that I did, and I practiced focusing the whole way through, and then I got ready, and I came to you. So why am I telling you this? Well, with all this extra time on our hands and being a little disoriented about how we work and where we work, and the fact that a lot of you, I just did my leadership monthly program that we had last Friday. We talked about working remotely. And a big part of that is being focused. And if you can do that, if you are focused and you are dialed into what it is you're doing and you're paying attention and you're focused, you're looking at this as an opportunity, not a hindrance. I can do nothing about what's going on out there. I can do nothing. I can be smart and not contribute to spreading this virus. Okay, so that's what I can control. I focus on my day, I focus on myself, I focus on you. And then additionally, is a golden opportunity. I develop more things for you. I've created something that's really sweet, and I'm fighting myself right now not to tell you what it is because I want to wait till next week to tell you. I got something really, really awesome coming for you because I took advantage of that extra time and I built you something extra that I had never intended to do, but that's in complete alignment with my strategy. That's another thing, is that you all do not, for those of you that run businesses, for those that are senior level businesses, for those of you that influence in the direction of your business or your team, do not let the craziness pull you away from your long-term strategy and what you were going to do. Everything that I decided to do is in alignment with the stuff that I wanted to give you. I'm just going to give it to you in a different format. I'm going to give it to you in a different way. I'm going to make it more accessible to people, but it's still in alignment with the stuff I want to give you and the business I want to build. So I'm using it to come up with additional creative opportunities. I'm also using that extra time to train more. I already train each day and on the weekends. So I've got extra time to do that. Okay? I've got extra time to talk to my wife. I've got extra time to take my dogs for a walk. I got a lot of really good things. Now, I don't wish this virus on anybody, and I don't wish a pandemic on us. That's ridiculous. But how you look at it and what you do with the time you have, and we're going to have to buckle up now for at least another month, that is in your control. Your attitude is in your control. What you focus on and what you literally obsess about is in your control. And that's my view on this, is for a lot of you, I know this is going to sound ridiculous, this is a gift. And a lot of you are ignoring it, and a lot of you are embracing it. So embrace it. Embrace it. A lot of really good stuff will come out of this. It will. It's unfortunate that we had to go through this. But think about, let's take a different analogy. Like somebody gets in a car crash, but hopefully they're okay. And you think about, I could have lost that person just like that. And that perspective where you didn't want to hug them and you didn't want to pay attention and you didn't want to be a supporting friend or a supporting family member or a brother or a sister or a husband or a spouse or whatever, right? And it takes something that shakes you up, right? We're all only one phone call away from our knees, right? Being on our knees. And so why does it have to come to this? That we're investing in ourselves, that we're doing these things, that we're, right? All those things that you can't do now that you, right, will so much more appreciate. Why does it have to come to this? All right, but it did come to this. So what you do with it is up to you. And that's my view on that. And I'm going to embrace it and I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to make good out of this. That's my view. All right, I hope that helps. I'm sure some of you loved it and some of you didn't, but that's how I feel. It really is. All right. Let's see. Hanya, would it be beneficial to accept consulting over, I'm assuming you mean full-time job, instead of having an extended work gap, even if the firm is lowball on the compensation side? It's always an ROI thing. Now, I have a different set of parameters that I use to determine that. So, meaning, if I was financially stable and I didn't have to take it and I thought I would be better served by continuing to look for opportunities, that's one thing. If I needed the money and I had to put food on the table, feed my kids, feed the dog, whatever, that's another thing. So I always tell people, if you get in a situation where you're presented with a consulting opportunity, then what you can do is you can always take it, see if you like it, right? If you don't like it, you can leave. If you do like it and they want to convert you to a permanent employee, okay. And then maybe you continue to search before they convert you. If you do get a full-time offer, you can pick between the two or you can leverage the one against the other, right? All those things, I can't tell you what's better, but I can tell you that I would look at the ROI there. And the other thing is sometimes people they want to work. They want to go for it. And so they do. So I can't tell you what to do. You gotta factor in those for yourself. All right. Let me see how we doing. All right. Couple things really quick. On the boot camp. Remember, it's all packaged, all ready to go. You got the special rate. We got a session tomorrow at 11. Even if you can't come to the session, I'm teaching you how to structure your job search now. I'm going to give you a tool, exactly how I would do this. Okay? How I would lay it out, what I would do, how I would go about it, how I would follow up, all that good stuff. That's tomorrow. But that's just one of the sessions. And then you can come back in the next few weeks or through the course of May for all the other ones. You get all the great stuff. You get me. You get the community. You get all that stuff. You got any questions? You can email me at support@milewalk.com. And make sure to grab this guy. It will really help you. It will really help you. And one of the things when you grab this, I think this is a $7 promotion. You pay basically a portion of the envelope and the services fees and some other stuff. I pay for the shipping. I mean, even though it looks like it's $7 for shipping, it's really not. I pay for the shipping wherever it goes. So this is really good. And then when you grab this, there is an opportunity to get the interview intervention course for like 67% off. So instead of $297, it's $97 with the little package. So if you're a little reluctant to kick in, the $497, the special for the boot camp, it's normally $597. You might want to try the interview intervention course. So that's another option. So take me up on whichever is best for you. The boot camp is the best value by millions of miles and the best career insurance policy you will ever get. And there's no repeat fees for that. So, a lot of trainers, they charge you every year to be in their programs. And, it's just, I just don't see the point in that. I just think once you're in, and you're in for life. So I have a different program. It's a subscription program, but not that one. All right. I got another session here in 5 minutes. You guys were awesome. If you enjoyed this, click the thumbs up. If I didn't get to your question, when YouTube records this, which will be a few seconds after I get off, drop it in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it if I can. Otherwise, boot campers, I will see you tomorrow. Everybody else, you be great. Thank you for coming. Everybody be safe. I hope it's the sun is shining where you are, but if it's not, I hope it's shining in your hearts. All right, take care. See you soon.